Well, this is basically what happens when you try and ship a charger that kind of looks like a bomb to another country. Everybody's really curious. But yeah, so here's everything. 1 charger, 2 chargers, 3 chargers. Yeah. Alright, so I took off the tank again just to see what kind of space I'm working with. Since I'm not using the stock tank, I have so much more room. It's a lot taller and stuff, so some people put just 1 charger in here with the heatsink and then the fan. It looks like this. And so that would just sit right here, and you just hook that up with one of these cables, either to the controller or to the auxiliary port down there. Really fancy dude. And a lot of people like to do the 2 chargers, which is 6.6 kilowatts, which could charge the bike basically in 2 hours. And that would look kind of like this. But obviously I wanted to charge as fast as I could, so I went with 3 chargers. There's a few ways to do this because there isn't a lot of space under the stock tank. Since I have a bigger tank, I can fit all of them up there. You could mount them to the side. You could build a bracket and then have wires that go up to the top and connect all the chargers. A lot of people are actually getting into removing the onboard charger because it's really heavy and it takes up a lot of space. And then you could put all the DigiNow chargers under there in the belly pan. But since I'm making my own charger cover, space isn't really a big deal. So I can put all of them above the battery and it'll kind of look like this. At first I thought, since I have all this room under the tank, I could mount them vertically and then have the cables coming out the side so that the top is really clean. But forcing the cables at that sharp angle was giving me issues. And I also couldn't fit the heatsink between the 3rd charger and the dog box without cutting it in half. So I rearranged it a bit. I rotated everything so the cables are on top, and then I have 2 chargers at the back with the heatsink in the middle, and then 1 charger in front of that. And then I was able to squeeze another heatsink in between that charger and the front of the frame. I put the 2 mini fans on top for better cooling, but I really need a way to get all this hot air out of the tank. So it's time to cut some holes. Yeah, that'll do. So if you're curious why I'm installing aftermarket chargers, it's because the one that came with the bike is just too slow. So let's say you want to go for a ride and you want to ride all day long, as long as you possibly can. Let's say there's about 14 hours worth of daylight. You could probably ride for about 2 hours, but then your battery would be totally drained. So in order to charge it fully from 0 to 100, it takes almost 9 hours. After that, you could ride for another 2 hours, but then you're just about done for your day. With these chargers, I'll be able to cut that 9 hours down to 1 hour, and that changes everything. All of a sudden, I'll be riding longer than I'm charging. I decided to go with the DigiNows for a few reasons. First of all, my bike is a 2015, and back then, Zero didn't sell the charge tank, and even if they did, it'd only be 6 kilowatts, and this is 9.9 kilowatts. And over here in New Zealand, we don't really have J1772 stations like the US. It's more like Europe, where Mennekes Type 2 stations are the way to go. Or Blue Commandos. The hell is a Blue Commando? So I couldn't use the charge tank anyway. I also really like that these are modular, so if I'm at a campsite and I only have 1 outlet, I can plug in just one of them and get 3.3 kilowatts. Or if I have a Tesla station or a Mennekes Type 2 station, I can string them all together and get the full 3-phase 9.9 kilowatts. So I've been throwing around a lot of numbers like 3.3 kilowatts and 9.9 kilowatts. What does all that mean? It's time for Smiley Jen math time.
Alright, so the best way to understand kilowatt hours is to replace with megabytes. Just about everybody downloads a file here and there. So this is an 11 kilowatt hour battery. We're going to make that an 11 megabyte battery. Normally when you download, say it's like 1.3 megabytes per hour, that's going to take a really long time to download, like 8.5 hours. We don't have time for that. Instead, we've upgraded.
So now we can download at 9.9 megabytes per hour.
Which makes it just a little over an hour for a full charge.
And that's a game changer.
Meaning, we can travel the world. So now that it downloads extremely fast, you know, just a little over an hour.
I just want to go for a ride, but right now the weather is like this. It's raining, and it's so sad. Well, as soon as the weather improves, I'm going to go take it for a test ride and see just how far I can ride it now with the new chargers. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.